Now, but let's
All
begin.
right, let's start up with the papers now. We'll start with the Punch newspaper, and the bold headline there says federal government ASU's meeting end in deadlock, and government turns down lecturers' request on TSA. This has been on that we have joining us Charles Ideho to review all the papers now. Charles, good morning.
Good morning. Glad
Nice
to be here again. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's
You're
right.
welcome.
Okay.
Now, when the meeting was called, everyone was anticipating that they would have come to an agreement one way or the other. But were you disappointed when they didn't come out with any agreement?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Because if you look at the trend over the years, some of us are old enough to know the history of strike in this country. You know that usually the first meeting is like backslapping. It usually doesn't achieve any meaningful result because there are certain gray areas that are really, really rough, and that need about about a couple of meetings for them to be able to smoothen those rough. So I wasn't expecting, because if it happened the first time meeting, they would have been ASU wasn't ready actually for the they were just.
But I wonder why ASU will be requesting to be exempted from the TSA.
I support them totally, because
why is that?
Yeah, if you look at in spite of the gains of TSA in recent years, you look at the bureaucracy in the issue of assessing the TSA will further strangulate the expected result of growth in the education sector. So if we are going to inject new blood into the sector, we need to free them from this unnecessary bureaucracy so that they can have access. A modicum of access to what
but if we have to exempt them, then there are other specialized areas we have to exempt.
No, well, that's what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, there will be no TSA.
Look, education is a key sector in any society. If you have an uneducated society, you have a society that will not grow. So if you want to really want to face education in your country, as we are looking for in Nigeria, I personally, this is personal to me, that ASU should be exempted from TSA.
All right. Well, the Nation reports this differently. It says government agrees to pay varsity teachers 23 billion allowances. Of course, these allowances will be there'll be forensic auditing of these allowances, plus the 30 billion that was paid. You know, was it 2012 or 2010?
Yeah, that's right. The one that said they didn't account for.
Yes, indeed. So there's a need to.
There's a need.
Actually look at what is going on.
Because accountability is very, very important, especially when you are saying that we have this new matter of change, that things should not be done the way it has always been done. When people take monies and they were supposed to be projects to be executed, but the money is usually diverted and nobody talks. So if ASU really want to come out to, come to equity as they say,
come with clean hands
are required.
All right, there's this strange disease that's killed 50 people in Kogi communities. Of course, all the papers actually report on that one. This mysterious disease is quite sad, and it's also frightening. Yes,
it tells you the level that this health sector has sunk in recent time. But I think the government really needs to do something for us to be able to be safe, to feel safe in this country. Yes.
But it's really surprising when an epidemic breaks out and it takes so long before it is identified to know what actually it is. Because when you say strange disease, actually no one has really known what it is. It's really strange.
Nobody has told us.
It's so far with strange. I'm sure they're going to be collecting blood samples for analysis, and then, of course, you know here in Nigeria, which is one of the quarrel I have with our president out of the country. But if, for instance, our president is treated here in Nigeria, that will bolster the issue. It will bring about the confidence.
You had to go there. You had to go there. Still remaining with the Nation, NNPC's gas master plan raises stable power supply hope.
It's good. Coming from that angle, we need it, because industries are struggling to survive. We need stable power supply. Even if it is not 24 hours, 18 hours every day will do a lot of magic to the manufacturing sector. It's good.
We just hope that
prove that Nigerians are not asking for too much.
I heard this morning. Sorry, I heard this morning in Taiwan. A power outage for a few minutes. The Prime Minister resigned.
Exactly.
For just a few minutes. Power outage. But here, let power be out for 1 week. The man will tell you we are working out. I can resign because of power outage.
We're working on it. We are on the issue. We're on top of the issue. Can you imagine? That's all right. Let's move to the Daily Sun now. The bold headline there says 2019 elections under threat. Southern leaders are saying no restructuring, no polls. This is bringing in a brand
Totally
new twist,
dimension.
a new dimension to 2019.
It's also frightening because since 1990 now, we've had seamless transition from one administration to the next. And I think it's something we need to build on. But coming now to talk about restructuring, you are now pinning whatever progress we're going to have in the electoral process to restructure. That's dangerous. Restructuring is not something you just do by fiat. It's something you can look at systematically. Look at how you can operate. You can operate them bit by bit. You can, for instance, use about a few states as a test run, as a pilot.
Yeah.
So not just all of us just go on one first swoop to just go restructure.
Otherwise, this might just be a recipe for retrogression.
And it's not good for us.
All right. Of course, the Vanguard reports the same story. Restructure Nigeria before 2019 polls. Eminent Nigerians. Only restructuring can save Nigeria. Adebanjo Nwodo, Akinade, and all the thing is that
the restructuring narrative that has taken the airwave right now. Nobody is coming to say what shape it should take. All right, everybody just say restructuring in what sense?
We'll get to that.
Well, devolution of power is...
You're echoing what Oyegun,
thank you.
the chairman of the
yeah,
APC
exactly.
Anyway, incidentally, it was my former governor of my state.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
in those states.
Of course, I do.
But the point there is, others have said that when it comes to restructuring, apart from not wanting to be political, as the case may be, that everyone really knows what this restructuring is about.
I don't think so.
Oh,
okay.
really?
I don't. Because so many kites have been flown now. You really, the question, first of all, let me ask this. Are we going to go the regional way? Are we going to go the 6 geopolitical zones structure or 36-state structure? As I said on one of the programs on radio, I said, look, if you're not careful, you are going to succeed in raising 36 monsters.
Whoa.
So now we're afraid of a very powerful center. So when you develop, if you're not careful, you're going to be raising monsters, 36 monsters.
All right, hate speech peddlers will be treated as terrorists. That's coming from the acting president.
About time they did that. Because if you go to Rwanda in 1993, there was a musician, I can't remember what he did. He sang a hate song against the Hutus. Yeah. That was what sparked that genocide. Right. So we have to be very careful about it.
All right. Yes, Charles Ideho, thank you very much for coming on the program this morning. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. Right.